It looks like pickle, but we are making zucchini relish today. And if you're one of those people that's like, I have a lot of zucchini coming in from the garden, or you're just getting out of farmer's market, this is the relish for you because it really is used and tastes like a pickle relish, but it's with zucchini, it's delicious. Why not make it homemade? You don't need to buy it. Let's go. The process is really simple. It's the same as it is for any other home canned relish, but we're using zucchini. Now, I usually like to use medium small zucchini, and if you're like me, that means you need to check it once or twice a day if you're growing it in the garden, because if you miss it, it's gonna get huge. If you wanna use a huge one, a boat-sized one, I would scrape out some of the inside. Of this, I'm not going to because they're small enough that I'm not worried, and we are gonna make sure we salt it and take that extra moisture out. So when I need to chop a lot of anything, and in this case for canning a relish, it's a lot of vegetables, a lot of onions, zucchini, peppers. I don't want to have to do it all by hand, or Grandma would have used a grinder. Do you remember those grinders you attached on the counter or like a kitchen cabinet, and they were metal and you would have different like little plates you put in them and you'd grind? That's what Grandma probably would have used. I use a food processor. I think it's very simple to make it into a nice kind of grind that is just the right texture. What I do is chop them up into, I don't know, kind of whatever pieces you want. I usually probably do around inch-sized pieces, I'm guessing. And what this does is it just kind of breaks them up, so then you can pulse it in the food processor. And I fill it usually probably about halfway full, because you don't want it all the way full. You'll still have to scrape it down a little bit in between, but you know, if you fill it halfway full, that's about right to be able to pulse it and scrape it and get it somewhat even. So halfway full, pretty simple. And then I pulse it because I think it can be a little bit more even when you pulse it, and you want the skins on it. That's gonna give it the color. So short little pulses, and you can see what it's instantly doing. We're not having to grind or chop it. It's doing it for us. Now, every so often, I do think it's important to go in there. Yeah, I'm using my hand. And just make sure things are somewhat even before you keep pulsing till it's completely even. I'm putting in now my second or last batch here of zucchini. You have to do it in multiple batches usually and measure it in between just to make sure you're getting enough. But you can see the texture. It has some, you know, finely kind of chopped ground and then the rest ground pieces. But the thing is, it cooks too, and it's gonna get salted. So don't worry too much about being perfect on the chopping. Now, it's going into a colander. You'll see why. We're gonna mix it still. It will start draining, but that's okay. So what we have now then is lots of onion and some pepper, some red for color and green. It goes by flavor mostly. I mean, the pepper and the onion do really kind of add that flavor that's needed. And you can see here what I'm doing is just giving them a rough chop, because if you don't, they're not going to chop evenly in the food processor. That's kind of essential here. And same with the pepper. You wanna make sure that you're going to, I'm gonna use that. I'm just gonna cut it up a little bit easier this way. But you wanna make sure that you're going to, you know, have a nice, even texture when it comes out of that food processor. So to start with it being slightly chopped up, it really does just help. That's why I do kind of, you can see, irregular but somewhat even pieces. So when it goes in there, they're roughly the same size. So when they chop, they come out the same size. So we can just load it up. See how much easier it is to use something to help you. We did sometimes use a blender too growing up. High-powered blender. You don't want to overfill those at all, so that's the more important part with that. It's a little full, but I think we can do it. We're gonna pulse it, help it get all chopped up, and just move on. See, it's so evenly chopped. It's nice. It's ground up. You get that red, you get the green, you get the onion. It smells great. To me, it smells like canning. So that is the smell of summer, if you ask me, because walking into our kitchen anytime, you get this pickly, I don't know, vegetal, preserved smell, and I love it. But then again, food is memories, right? So yes, a colander isn't maybe the easiest thing to work it into, but we wanted to put it all into a colander anyway, so I'm gonna mix it somewhat in here just to start them getting mixed together. See why you want the color of the skin of the zucchini? That's what makes this look just like any other relish, because you have that color. Now instantly you can tell it's chopped up, so you're getting liquid coming out of it. We're going to enhance that even more with pickling salt or canning salt, which is a fine salt with no additive, no caking, anti-caking agents or anything. And it's a lot of salt, but we're going to rinse it off, but this is also going to help get out all the excess moisture that's in here. Because think about it, vegetables have a high ratio of water in them. So what salt does is it slowly macerates them to get out any of that excess water, and instantly already, see it's coming out underneath? A lot more is gonna come out. Now this is gonna sit 12 hours. It can sit overnight. You just wanna make sure it has ample time to do its work. So that's why it's in a colander. So what I'm gonna do now though is, I always like to cover it just with something clean, a clean cloth or something, just so, I don't know, nothing gets in it. It makes you feel like you're doing something. So we're gonna cover this, let it sit, and move on. I've had one sitting already, so we can keep going. And it doesn't look really that great. It does look different though. You can tell it darkens in color a little bit. Zucchini doesn't have a lot of fragrance like a cucumber would, but honestly, if you didn't know what we were doing, you'd think this was cucumber the way it smells. So what we're gonna do, because you can see, do you see all that liquid that's pulling out? That's what we want, that excess water in all of these vegetables. We're gonna bring it over here. We'll discard that water, but first what we're gonna do is we're gonna rinse it to get out the excess salt. So I'm gonna put that on, use my hose attachment here, and I'm just gonna really rinse this. I'll work my hands into it, because you can see it really then kind of moves it around. And then when I'm done, I'm gonna squeeze this to get all the moisture out. You can see it looks completely different, and there's gonna be a little bit of moisture, and you can't do it completely, but it really does get most of that excess out, which helps the rest of the process here. So what I have is just a large, you can use a stock pot. I use, this is like a canning, I use it for jam too, but you can use whatever, just wanna, to me, whoops, made a little bit of a mess, a heavy bottomed kettle, because you don't want it to burn, because we do have to cook this now. So really, the great thing about this relish, and why, if you're thinking like, well, why would I want something that's not just like cucumbers for a pickle relish, is you use this exactly the same as you would any other pickle relish. The difference is sometimes there's an abundance of zucchini, right? And this is a great way to use it up. So now we're gonna add everything else that's really gonna make this into a relish. We're gonna add vinegar. You can do apple cider, you can do white. You just wanna make sure it is 5% acidity. That is essential when you're canning, which most are. Whites you have to watch, they're not always. Sometimes store brands can be down to 4% and you want 5%. So we're gonna put that in there. And yes, vinegar is essential for pickling. That's what gives it that flavor that you really want. And then sugar. You need some sugar too, it's gonna balance it out. And I use so much less sugar than traditional recipes would. I do not like it overly sweet, but you do need the balance. We're gonna do some prepared horseradish. Now, cucumber is missing here, so to me some of the flavor is missing, and just to kind of up it a little bit, add a little bit more oomph to it, you could say, I like some prepared horseradish in it. Then we're gonna add kind of, to me, the more normal things. Some mustard seeds, I don't know why I smell them, they do not have a fragrance, but they do have a texture, and once they cook, they bring out more, which is nice. They bring out more kind of flavor to it, but subtly. You do definitely need some turmeric. Now this is gonna give it the color that to me is essential. It's also going to give it the flavor. It has an earthiness to it, you know, it's the base of a lot of curries. In this case, it's not a curry, but it really does have a lot of good flavor. And then we're gonna put in some celery seed. I love celery seed with it. I think that just kind of finishes it off. Smells good. Mix this with a spoon you don't care about, because it will stain. It's turmeric, as it will stain anything else it gets on, so just always be careful. So I'm just stirring this together to make sure it's somewhat mixed together. And instantly that turmeric is starting to color it, which I like. It brings it more to me, the correct, what I'm used to. You know, I make homemade pickle relish all the time. And this is, to me, what brings out all those flavors and colors. We're gonna take this over to the stove and we're just gonna start cooking it. And it does cook for a while, but I'm gonna bring it up to a boil and turn it to a simmer so you can kind of see that process, and then just let it cook down. So it's starting to cook, and I want you to see that. All I'm wanting it to do really is just see how it's simmering over in here? You see those bubbles? You kind of hear it bubbling around. You definitely wanna be stirring it some, because you don't want it to stick anywhere if you have a hot spot. But really what we want it to do is just kind of come together, be a little bit thicker. It's not a huge deal here, but you can see it's a pretty thick consistency, and that's why I wanna make sure you stir it every so often, because it has quite a bit of, which was what you want, the relish in it itself. So I'm gonna stir it every so often here, just let it cook. It will deepen in color a little bit, but it's already smelling and looking like relish. This has been cooking, and you can see it really looks not too different. The colors are more what becomes saturated. And this is what zucchini relish is, and it smells delicious. I love relish in all forms. I use it on so many things. So I have everything ready. My water bath is ready, fitted with my rack in the bottom. That is essential when you're canning. You don't want the jars to hit the bottom of the kettle too close to the heat. My jars are sterilized. They're ready to go. I put them on a rack like this on a big sheet pan just because they're easy to move and it catches drips. It keeps it somewhat cleaner. My lids are ready to go. My rings, I have a funnel. You know, having everything ready just makes it more simple and makes it not stressful. Canning does not need to be stressful. Now there is always liquid with this and you want the liquid with this. So it's kind of a mixture of some liquid and some of the, relish with it. As I'm putting it in, I do like to just press it kind of down, make sure I'm getting my headspace correctly, which I always am able to gauge by my funnel, and that's how I know. So we're gonna put that in there. Go to the next one and fill them up. You know, this is to me a process that becomes very just kind of second nature when you can more. You just kind of start doing it and knowing it, and no part seems stressful because you know what you're doing. This is not something where you need to worry. And again, we're using a high ratio of vinegar when you're pickling, so it makes a very safe environment for canning. You don't have to pressure it. We're just water bathing. It's a quick water bath because of all that vinegar. So when you have those, I'll show you on these 2 jars, ready to go, the headspace is correct. I'm gonna take some hot water, I dip a little bit of paper towel in it or something clean, and I just go around and clean that rim to make sure there's no drips, anything up there. You also make sure it's never chipped. If you're using, reusing jars, which when you can reuse your jars for years. I have jars from my grandma I still reuse. Just wanna make sure there's no chips or cracks. Make sure there's no bubbles in it either. You can push down. Then I'm gonna take 2 of my prepared lids. I'm gonna put those on, line them up, and no, there is no correct or wrong way unless you want to be really perfect and have them go a certain way. And then we're gonna put our rings on, make sure there's no rust if you're reusing them. That inhibits a good kind of tight seal. And then go fingertip tightness. It's where you go tight enough that you're tight, but you could almost strain and go more, but you don't because that could cause it to buckle. So we're gonna put these on, we're gonna keep filling them up, and then we're gonna water bath them. Isn't that beautiful? It's relish. They're all ready to go. Again, this makes it easy now to pick them up, move them over. Canning is not scary. It's not where you have to just sit and do, 20, 30, 40 pints of this. You can do a small amount like this and enjoy it and have a great day and have some delicious food that you know is what is going into, that you know what's going into it. That's what I love, when I know what's in my food. So we're gonna put these in the water bath. It's been boiling. I'm bringing it back up kind of a higher temperature just to make sure. I just think this is beautiful. I think canning is beautiful. I think seeing it in a jar is beautiful. We're gonna put these in. It's a short water bath because it has so much vinegar. So it's pretty much like a pickle where it's really quick. So I'm gonna put this in here. We're gonna let it go for a little bit. Of course, you always adjust for altitude. Make sure you check the charts for that because that will make a difference too. Just like that here, you have gorgeous relish that's gonna be shelf stable. And if you're thinking, I don't use that much relish. Well, start, because it's delicious. I do, I love relish. This is what I use in all my potato salads, chicken salad, tuna salad, obviously on brats or hot dogs. I love a good relish, and I think there's a lot of fun ways to use it. You can make dips with it even, it's really good. So these now need to sit, cool off, at least 12 to 24 hours. And in that time, what you're gonna see is, it's gonna start drawing in at the center, or it should, and it's going to eventually pop or ping, and that's when all the air is released, and it is at that point shelf stable, but you still let it cool off and don't move them or take the rings off in that time. After they're all sealed, after 12 to 24 hours, I do like to remove the rings. Some people think that's odd, but no, I wanna make sure that seal is good. You don't want a false seal. Remove them. I store them without the rings on them because I just reuse my rings on other things. But you can see here how, here's the lid not used. You hear that, how it goes up and down? That should be pushed down on all of them, but never yourself push them down. You don't wanna do that. After 12 to 24 hours, you can check them by gently touching them, making sure it's down. But then you have this little bit left over, which canning, you'll always have a little bit of varying, sometimes with some extra, but this is great. I can put it in the fridge. If one doesn't seal, you put it in the fridge and you use it. But now you have delicious relish. Tangy, pickly, balanced with a little bit of sweetness that you don't really know is a ton of sugar in there. That's what I like. I don't want this to be a sweet relish. If you want, you could up the sugar and make it a sweet relish, but why would you want that? I don't want that. I love how this is. I love the little specks of that red pepper in there. The green pepper just kind of melds into it. The onion, the flavors all come together. Great way to use zucchini, right? Also, if you're thinking, I don't always love cucumber, here you go. Another great way. And I think you're gonna find so many uses for this, which is what I really love too. So what do I hope you do with this? I hope you feel confident. I hope you feel enlivened to can and make relish, because it really is easy. It's not a scary process. As long as you have the right equipment, you have the tools, the steps in front of you, you can do this just like I did. We're gonna do it together. So make some relish, pass this video around, share it, because I want others to see how easy this is too. And check my website, wyseguy.com, where this recipe lives, that you can go and get time after time. And so many other preserving, canning, food recipes are on there too. So enjoy. It's summer, gotta have some good relish. Can't wait to know how you love it.